What's going on, you guys? First of all, before we get into this, hope you're having a phenomenal day. If you're watching with me right now, go ahead and drop a hashtag unstoppable down below. I love seeing who's tuning in to this message. So today I am in Norwalk, Connecticut. Tongue twister there because I was in New York City yesterday. So Norwalk, Connecticut, which is about an hour north of New York City. And I'll be speaking at an event today. So I'm so fired up. I love to speak in front of an audience and share my message, share my story, share the principles and applications that have changed my life, not just to inspire, but to compel people to take action and make meaningful, lasting change in their life. And that's my message. That's my purpose. I'm here to serve you as a coach, as a mentor, as a, motivational figure and on stage. And so I get to do what I love every single day. Every day I wake up and I literally get to do what I want to do, what I love, what I'm passionate about. I get to serve. I get to make an impact. I get to be around my loved ones. I get to share those memories, those lessons with people I care about to see them improve the quality of their life. And the way that I got here was by facing my fears. And that's what I want to talk with you about today. It's facing your fears. We all have this person inside of us that we aspire to be. And if you don't know who that person is, it's probably the individual that you'll become by facing your fears. Here's the thing, the things that you're scared of, the doubts that you have, the perceived limitations, those things are all preventing you from taking some form of action. Chances are that action that you want to take is meaningful to you, meaning you have this vision of the person you want to be, this change you want to make, this life that you want to create, but you're holding back because that voice inside of you starts to cast doubt on, is it possible? Am I good enough? What if I fail? What will other people say? What are they going to think? And those fears consume us, and the more we feed them through our thoughts and inaction, the more powerful they become in our lives. Now, most people have two different versions of them. The person they truly want to be, like that higher self, that true authentic person in your heart that you're born to be. And then they have that person that they settle for. That person that listens to the fear. That person that gets paralyzed and doesn't take action because they let the doubt consume them. They feel insecure. They worry about what'll happen if I fail. And they never even take that first step. And what those individuals are failing to recognize is failure is a part of the equation. Failure is necessary for you to grow and develop yourself into the person you need to become to create the outcomes you want in life. Nobody ever just started on anything great in life and went straight through without any stumbles, any perceived failures, any setbacks. Those are the things in your path, the tests that you need to level up, to develop more resolve, to acquire new skills, to elevate your mindset, to adapt and evolve into the person you need to be. Now, I'll never forget the first time that I spoke in front of a crowd was in prison. And I was in a drug program where they put inmates who had previously been arrested or charged with some offense related to drugs and alcohol. At this time, I was deep in my personal development. I knew that I wanted to change my life. I didn't connect or relate to any of the men in prison at that time, and I just had tunnel vision towards improvement every single day. And one day I had to get up on this podium in front of 100 other inmates and tell my story about how I got to prison, my history with drug abuse, and just kind of recount my, early life lessons growing up. And so as I got up there on the podium, I got nervous. My voice was quivering, my face got red, my palms were sweating. Like you see in the movies, or I'm sure it's happened to you speaking in front of a crowd. A lot of people don't like to speak in front of others. In fact, glossophobia is the term that they use to describe fear of speaking. It's a Greek word about like fear of using your tongue, like speech, right? And it's one of the greatest fears in humanity. Like it's one of the biggest fears that we all possess is getting in front of people and talking, because what happens if we mess up? What are they going to think about us? We're all worried about being judged, right? So it evokes all this fear, and it usually surfaces in the form of like a physiological reaction. And I remember for me, I went and sat down in the audience after just stumbling through my speech, struggling big time. And these guys were looking over at me. They're like, Crane, what happened, man? Like, dude, you were just freezing up there. What happened? And I hated the way that felt. I hated the way I felt in that moment because I wasn't in control of myself. Like I wasn't even able to get up there and just share my truth, like my past history, without feeling nervous, anxious, and overwhelmed. And in that moment, instead of allowing that situation to defeat me, I said, you know what? I'm going to conquer my fear of speaking in front of other people. Not just conquer it and get over it, but I'm going to become a damn good speaker. Like, I'm going to take this as a personal challenge, attack against my person, myself, who I am, who I'm destined to be. And so going forward in that drug program, every time we had an opportunity to share, I would volunteer. Every time there was some assignment or something where we had to get up on that podium and talk in front of the whole prison, I would do it. And I just started speaking more and more and more. And I got to the point where I was improving my ability to articulate my message. I wasn't getting nervous. I was commanding the attention of the other men. I was being a leader. And I was also being vulnerable and opening up about my past. And a lot of guys didn't do that. And so they started looking at me differently. They started looking at me as someone who was more of an example than just another guy with a number. You know, I wasn't just AN1137 Sean Crane. I was like, okay, this guy has something different. He's willing to face his fear. He's willing to get up and talk to us about these real life problems. And a lot of these individuals started approaching me in the prison building or on the yard. And that's when I really started mentoring other inmates. So it was through that act of me facing my fear that really elevated my identity and who I believe myself to be. And then it changed the way the world was reacting to me. It drastically changed my perspective and the way the world started reacting to me. And that's just one instance of so many on that journey of my redemption and my desire to improve myself, where I had to face a fear or a perceived limitation in order to evolve and grow into the person I wanted to be. If you're watching this right now, whatever that fear or doubt you have is, it's never going to go away. In fact, it's going to grow stronger the longer that you wait. The more times you give into some excuse, the more times you don't take action based on that fear or that insecurity, that fear and doubt inside of you grows stronger and more powerful. But the opposite is true as well. Every time you say, fuck that fear, man, I'm going to take action. I know who I want to be. And you just push yourself, no matter how uncomfortable you are, no matter what kind of outcome you get. It's just the act itself, you being willing. Your confidence and belief in self grows. And the more you invest in that person over time, you're going to improve whatever it is that you're trying to do, but also you're going to believe in yourself more. And that belief and confidence in self is life-changing, because it's going to allow you to go into other areas of life as well and attack future goals and future things that you're doubtful or fearful of. Because now you have this history, this precedent of showing up despite the way you felt and taking action otherwise. There was another instance in prison where this happened to me. Now, growing up, I was really social. I was outgoing. And I got good grades as a kid, but as I got older, I stopped going to school and I stopped applying myself. So I had this limiting belief that I was street smart, that I was witty, that I was fun to be around, but I just lacked intelligence. I thought I wasn't book smart. And so I remember in prison starting to read and write and realizing just how bad my grammar was, realizing just how far behind I was with simple things like punctuation, spelling, just writing letters, right? My reading was okay, but my retention, my memory wasn't that good. My speed of thought wasn't there. And I had been abusing drugs for 10 years. So my brain, my vision, my mind was cloudy. And so I started using, my daily process to develop myself, meaning I would get up, I'd exercise, and then I'd always go into reading and writing. And it was at that time I realized I was not a good student at all. And so I had these moments where I would be writing letters back home and I'd ask my cellmate how to spell certain words, and he was helping me along. And then one day he got fed up and he threw a pocket dictionary at me and it hit me in the shoulder. And he goes, look it up, man. Basically I'm sick of helping you. Like, look it up. And in that moment, I remember just thinking like, okay, watch this. Watch this. I'm going to prove it to you first and foremost, but also had to prove it to myself and to everyone else. And that was the first time that I started going out of my comfort zone and attacking something that I believed to be true about myself, my lack of intelligence. And it was something as trivial as looking up words in this dictionary and applying them to my letters that I was writing to my family members back home. And I started taking pride in my letters. I started writing them really neatly, making sure every word was spelled correctly, making sure my punctuation was done properly. And in a very short period of time, I noticed the difference, and so did the people I was writing. They started commenting back like, man, your writing's improving so much. Well, what are you doing? You going to school in there? What are you doing? And that was really amazing for me because it showed me that my actions, like I could change something that I perceived to be concrete, a belief, a part of me that I thought was unable to be changed with action and effort, and not allowing that fear, that insecurity to hold me back. I could change parts of me that I thought were not able to be changed. And that just opened my mind to the possibilities that this life and us as beings possess. Like, we go through life thinking we are the way we are and we're stuck that way, but it's not true. Here I am in a jail cell, changing the way I write letters and changing the way that I feel about myself in doing so. And over time, continuing on that path, massively changing my identity and my perspective on the world. And I went on to take college courses in prison because of that experience. It gave me the confidence to just go after it. I ended up getting college degrees and studying everything that you could think of, got 4 associate's degrees, got out of prison early. And that gave me the confidence to come home and write a book as well. So you see, like, I'm painting a picture here, you guys. It doesn't matter where you're starting. You know where you want to go and where you want to be. And it's a journey to get there. It's a journey. And your journey is going to be faced with tests, with adversity, with trials. And those are all monumental moments that are going to allow you to massively level up and prove to yourself that you're doing it. You have to prove it to yourself. The fear and the doubt is a reflection of what you really believe about yourself internally. The fear and doubt you possess is your inner self telling you, hey, you're not showing up. Hey, you're not doing what's required. Hey, you're not taking the actions needed. Like, that's a signal. You have to adhere to it and pay attention and then take action. Don't allow it to paralyze you and hold you back. I'm telling you, that's your higher self screaming at you to take these actions. And if you have regret, if you have fear, if you have doubt, those are the things you have to fix. They're not going to go away. If I sat there in my cell and worried about being a horrible student and thought I was dumb and just didn't try, I would have always believed that I was lacking in intelligence. I never would have taken college courses. I never would have been able to learn all these amazing subjects. I never would have had that experience, and I wouldn't have got out of prison early, and I wouldn't have written my book. Same goes for the speaking. If I wouldn't have just faced that fear and been willing to try to get better each and every time, I wouldn't have gone on to mentor other inmates in prison. I wouldn't have gone on to start my coaching program. I wouldn't have gone on to get opportunities to travel and speak as I do now. Today I'm across the country, getting an opportunity to speak in front of people and share a similar message that I'm sharing with you today because I faced my fears. Because I recognize that those are the exact tests that I need to conquer to become the person I want to be. And they're not just going to go away. I have to take control of my life. And I have to face these fears and this doubt head on. And I have to prove to myself that I can overcome them. And that's what it comes back to. So whatever it is that you're going through in your life right now, whatever struggle, whatever limiting beliefs, whatever fears you have, those are your tests. You're either going to be willing to rise to the occasion and to conquer them and to become a person in the process that can no longer allow those things to hold them back, or you're going to give in to the fear and doubt. You're going to cower in defeat, and you're going to allow those things to define you and how you show up in life going forward. And there's always going to be the voice in the back of your head saying, oh, but what about that last time? Oh, you can't do it. Remember that last time you didn't do it? Oh, what are people going to think about you? And it's going to grow louder and louder and louder until it consumes you. And that's not what you're made for. You're made for more. You're here for a purpose. And those visions and that passion you possess is a gift that you need to adhere to each and every day and pursue with courage, with inspiration, with that compelling desire within you to become that person. Face your fears today. Look for the test. Rise to the occasion. And through the midst of that journey, through those trials and tribulations, you will grow to become someone that you love, that you admire, that you're proud of, and that's capable to achieve much more in life. I promise you that. This is the path I've shown you guys through my stories, through my through my willingness to take action and my unrelenting desire to excel and overcome what is possible. I'm proving it to you. And if I could do it, you can do it too. That's the message today. Go out, conquer your fears. Be that man you want to be. No surrender, no giving up, no defeat. You're here for more.
There's so much more for you to tap into. You have so much more to give. You have so much strength. You have more resolve, more resiliency. You are made for more. Can't you see it? I know you feel it. I know when you go to bed at night, you question and wonder, is there more for me? Can I achieve more? Why am I holding back? This is the chance right now to let go of your limitations, to believe in the person you want to be, not the one you settled for. Click the link and join my program. I promise I'll walk with you side by side and show you the way. Let's take action right now to be the man that you want to be. No more excuses. This is for you and your family right now. Let's go. There's so much.